So by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They unfortunately are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said.
If you probably know that old tweets of Brooke Schofield's past went viral on TikTok from past weekend. She had addressed on TikTok about the situation. We'll go into that, but that's not it. People still wanting her to continue speaking out on situation. So she put out some more videos on TikTok, commenting back to a lot of people that have been talking about it. And now even Tana, her podcast host and friend, has come out with a new canceled podcast episode, where at the right of the beginning, she sits down to address the Brooke situation. Let's start with Brooke addressing situation.
Obviously saw everything that was going on and I saw how hurt everybody was by it. So I felt like I just had to put something out as soon as I physically could so that nobody thought I was ignoring the situation or didn't realize how important it was. But as a result of that, I put out this very emotional, scrambled video where I essentially made none of the points that I should have been making. First and obviously most important thing is that I'm so sorry, specifically to Black people and the other people of color who were offended by my tweets, okay? Because obviously I'm seeing a lot of positivity in the comments and people saying that they forgive me, and it's all white people. And that's how I know I did not address this properly at all. So I want to be clear that this is directed specifically to Black people and other people of color, and I'm not seeking white people's understanding or forgiveness, approval, or whatever it is. Now, sorry is not enough, in my opinion, for the way that I was tweeting and the things that I was saying online at that time. And I know that there's no apology beyond reparations that can mend that wound. I don't care if I was a teenager, I was old enough to know better. And not only did I choose to say those things, I chose to say those things on a public platform. And I am very, very ashamed of it. Especially sorry to those who were affected in real time, because keep in mind, I had friends and family who were following me at that time and would have been hurt by those tweets. And I feel sick over that. The tweets were racist, okay? There's no getting around that. They cannot be dismissed as jokes or political opinions or anything else. It was racism. In my last video, I put all this emphasis on my family thinking it was gonna provide context, but instead it just made it look like I was pointing fingers and placing blame, and that was exactly the opposite of what I should have been doing. The fact of the matter is nobody forced me to tweet those things. I tweeted those things on my own, and the blame is on me.
She admits that her tweets were racist, and it seemed like she was placing blame, as she tried to say what she said was a result of living in a conservative household and blaming herself.
Conscious choice to not learn about politics until I was a young adult. But that did not stop me from tweeting political opinions. I wanted to appear that I knew more than I did and that I was educated, and instead I was spreading harmful, very, very harmful misinformation. I had all the educational resources available to me to learn what was right, and I chose not to. When it happened, I repeated disgusting misinformation on a public platform, and I'm genuinely so disturbed by that. I truly cannot believe it. It makes me sick, truly sick to think about it now. I mentioned in my last video how I didn't really open my eyes until after college, but I want to make it clear that when I say that, I'm referring to hate crimes in particular. It wasn't until after college that I realized how prevalent police brutality is and how common hate crimes are. It's constantly happening. I think a lot of people felt this way, but the of George Floyd shifted my mindset completely, okay? Because that's when I started to really research and learn what it was like and what it looked like to be anti-racist. I started to seek out my own resources and learn what reparations looked like and learn what I could do as a white person in situations like these. And I'm really, truly ashamed that it took me that long. I talked in my last video about how I grew up in a Republican household. And I didn't say that because I think all Republicans are racist, but I just wanted you to know that those are the only conversations that I had been exposed to. But then I went off to college, okay? And I went to college in Arizona, which is still a red state, but Arizona is also a state with a lot of diversity. And I was a public health major, where so many elements have to do with race and racial inequality. I learned so much during that time, you guys. It was actually really eye-opening for me because I had a lot of thoughts my entire life that completely shifted once I started to learn things from other people's perspectives. So much of what I previously had believed to be true changed, and I started paying attention to things that I hadn't before. Again, I acknowledge that I was an adult at this time, and I had all the resources in the world available to me to educate myself prior to college, and I chose not to, and for that, I am sorry. Truly mean that, and I know a lot of you aren't going to believe me, and I understand that, but I do care about these issues. But I don't want this conversation to be over, honestly. I'm not posting this video to make everything go away. I don't want to try to get myself uncanceled, but I know there are a lot of people like me who are still working to unlearn the inherent racism that we possess still. While I know that I've changed, I also know that there is a lot of work to be done, okay? There is a lot that I could still do that I have not done yet. I promise you that I will. I have been and will continue to look into reparation initiatives to share with you guys, as well as figure out ways that we can give Black creators more visibility, because we know that's a major problem in this space. I want to do everything that I can to show you that I am not the person that I was in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. I am not. I understand that there are people who are never going to forgive me, and I do not fault you for that at all. At all. But I truly am so sorry. I am sorry for the words that I said. I am sorry for my racist past. I am sorry for the people that I hurt. And I want to do everything I can to earn back your trust, because it really is very important to me.
Brooke later on says that she donated to the Trayvon Martin Foundation as people urged her to. After seeing what she said in 2013, she tweeted saying, "Guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash. This wasn't a crime of racism, it was self-defense." Here's her video.
Like I said, I think reparations are more important than apologies. So I have already donated to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Literally the first thing I did. And I'm doing my research. I'm looking into other communities and foundations that I can help with, and I will continue to do that. Like I said, in any way that I can help, I will help.
After that, all she decided to delete her Twitter account, though it's too late for that. And now Tana has come out on her canceled podcast video to give her original comments about the Brooke situation.
Brooke is not here with us today, and I want to be abundantly clear that that was my decision. We all saw the tweets, and they're horrific, and I'm saying that as a white person, right? Like, I cannot even imagine being a Black non-fan or fan and reading those tweets. And I've made it very clear to Brooke as well that I condemn her for these tweets. It's horrible, and I have no right to forgive her as a white person for the things that she said. Before I get into a little more of my thoughts on this, I'm also wrong in this situation, and I want to be open and honest with you guys about that. When Brooke made her first apology video, I commented on it and I said, "We grew up bad, I love you," and immediately regretted it so hard. Realized how place as a white person to forgive her or add to the problem and further the narrative of white people forgiving other white people. And it's not enough to just write these things off as we grew up bad. And I think that I learned that now, and that shows me that I still have things to learn and unlearn. And I just first wanted to apologize to anyone I hurt for commenting that on her video. I might be the last person you guys or anyone wants to hear have a take on Brooke's tweets.
At one point, people thought that Brooke will not going to be part of the podcasts further, but she later confirmed by liking a comment that says, "Wait, these comments are confusing me. What makes you all think Tana completely dropped Brooke? I don't think Tana would drop her as a friend. I feel like Tana gives a lot of grace to her friends to grow and learn, etc. And so I don't see their friendship ending, and I also low-key don't see her permanently being off the podcast either." That's it for today. If you want to stay updated, subscribe to my channel and leave your thoughts and comments.